Isang mapagpalang gabi mga kabataan. Welcome to YTV, Youth TV, Your TV, ang programa ng mga kabataan, kasama ng mga kabataan at para sa mga kabataan.
Yan, hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Monday Matters here at YTV. Noong nakarang linggo ay pinag-usapan natin ang tungkol sa relationships and what makes a good relationship work. Good and lasting love is worth the wait. Kaya guys, don't hurry love. You just have to wait. Love is not just confined to a romantic relationship. You are constantly surrounded by love. Love ng family, love ng friends, love ng mga tao around us. And syempre, the love that we have for God and the love that God has for us is the best kind of love there is, and we must nurture it constantly.
Amen. And speaking of love, we felt the love from the previous episode kasi sobrang daming overwhelming na feedback mula sa inyo and how fruitful and helpful the episode was. So maraming salamat sa mga nag-share, and it's never too late to share the episode to everyone whom you know na talagang gustong makaramdam ng love or gustong maramdaman at malaman kung ano ba talaga ang tunay na pag-ibig. And tonight, actually, Ate Jamie, connected din sa love ang ating pag-uusapan. We will talk about the importance of life. Pero bago tayo magsimula talakayin ang paksa natin ngayong gabi, manalangin muna tayo.
We are on the third week of Advent, and as the celebration of our Lord's birth approaches, it's good to reflect on the value of human life. God came down to earth to be born in a very humbling way so that He can be with us. Diba ang special nating mga tao? Ganon tayo kamahal ng Diyos at ganon kahalaga ang buhay natin para sa Diyos. Kaya pinili niyang mamuhay kasama natin para tayo ay personal niyang maturuan ng daan patungo sa Kanya.
Kaya nga nakakalungkot na laganap ngayon ng isang culture of death. We know that souls are worthy in the eyes of the Lord, but modern conditions and social pressures and even political ideologies have blinded many of us from the truth and the knowledge, and as a result, choices are made to disregard the value of human life, and sadly, one of them is abortion.
Maraming patayan, maraming pinapatay, at ang pinakamalungkot dito ay ang pagpatay sa mga batang hindi pa nga ipinapanganak. Children in their mother's womb are killed legally in most countries today, and there is a rising movement to legalize such killing in our own country. Nakakalungkot lang na ang gustong pumatay sa mga batang ito ay ang kanilang sariling mga magulang, lalo na ang kanilang ina.
And dahil sa hookup culture that promotes casual sex and rape culture that is product of viewing of human bodies, especially women, as objects to be used for pleasure, marami ang mga nagiging unwanted pregnancies. But two wrong doesn't make one right. And children should not be murdered because of their parents' mistake.
Life begins from conception, as we can read in the 139th Psalm in the Bible. You formed my inmost being. You knit me in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My very self you know. My bones are not hidden from you. When I was being made in secret, fashioned in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw me unformed. In your book, all are written down. My days were shaped before one came to be. God alone is the Lord of life from its beginning until its end. No one should claim for himself or herself the right to destroy an innocent human being.
Para sa mga kabataan, napakahalaga na malaman natin ang tunay na kahalagahan ng pagiging pro-life. When we deal with life, we should consider the sense of admiration that arises in the presence of something holy and sacred. We cannot exaggerate the value of human life since it is a life meant to have immortal relation with God, its creator. And it's really important that even if life is deformed physically and morally, God will still love that person and make salvation obtainable for that person. Human life and human personhood must be respected with reverence.
Yes, and for this episode, sasagutin ng ating guests ang iba't ibang tanong tungkol sa kahalagahan ng buhay based on their professional life and experience. Gusto naming makatulong sa mga kabataan para lumawak ang kaisipan at kaalaman natin patungkol sa kahalagahan ng buhay and how new life is a blessing, a gift from God that should bring joy and not sorrow or death.
So life in all forms and stages is definitely valuable. Now, this condition where we are particularly referring to the life of a child inside the mother's womb is a little bit more special because it is that of a child who is helpless and one who would solely rely on the care provided for him or for her by the mother. Now, as an obstetrician, we recognize this unique setup. And thus, it is our primary role to ensure that the mom is well taken care of so that the baby's well-being is protected. Now, during our prenatal checkups with these pregnant women, we usually take a little bit more time to explain to her or to them the importance of being strictly compliant to whatever medical advice she's being given. So we make sure she understands very well that it is not just an emotional bond that exists between her and the child in her womb. Now, from a medical standpoint, there is this literal bond, which we all know is the cord, which connects the mother to her baby. And this basically serves as a child's lifeline. So, whatever it is which is going on within the mom's body, it will surely be reflected on the baby's status. Sabi nga namin within the medical field, ang trabaho ng obstetrician ay mabigat kasi dalawa ang pasyente namin, yung mom and then yung baby. Pero usually naman lahat ng pagod and hirap na minsan kasama ng pag-aalaga ng buntis, napapawi yan as soon as makita namin na healthy ang baby na pinanganak and then nag-uumapaw sa saya yung mga magulang nito, lalo na yung nanay. Actually, abortion is never an option in dealing with unwanted pregnancies. We know very well that whenever abortion is done, it is actually equivalent to murder. So whatever the circumstance surrounding the conception or yung pagbubuntis, like pwede kasi minsan it was due to sexual abuse or a non-consensual sex. Or pwede din consensual, pero there was either failure of or lack of birth control. Anyway, once fertilization happens, life literally starts. So at this point, the child is already a person or an individual of its own. So she or he is entitled to the rights accorded every human being, and that includes first and foremost the right to live. So in this regard, the pregnancy has to be carried until delivery. The mother has to make sure that during the course of pregnancy, she goes for prenatal care, she takes the necessary dietary supplements like multivitamins and iron, she eats well, she gets enough rest. So basically treating the baby in her womb with utmost respect. Now, so back to the question, what options do these women have, like the ones who have unwanted pregnancies? Now, I think the first thing that they have to think of is they must realize that regardless of the reason why they got pregnant, ang bunga nun, yung baby, is always a blessing. So there are people who they can go to, they can talk to, and they can get counseled by regarding why keeping the baby is actually a very good option. Kung talagang hindi nila kakayanin ang pag-aalaga ng baby later on, there are shelters for women with unwanted pregnancy. So merong mga grupo na ang advocacy ay matulungan ang mga babaeng may ganitong problema. They usually would provide for them yung mga basic needs like food, clothing, shelter. Inaalagaan sila hanggang sa mga anak sila, and then once the baby is delivered, yung nanay or yung mom, they have the option of keeping the baby in case like there was change of heart, or if they still think that they would not want to take care of the baby, then these babies will be given up for adoption. Para sa mga babae na talagang desirous of pregnancy, lalo na the ones who had been having a hard time trying to get pregnant for some reason, the news that they finally are pregnant would usually elicit a lot of different reactions. Some of them can't stop crying. Others naman gustong himatayin sa tuwa. Okay, so I know it's hard to describe, but their reactions usually would reflect pure bliss. Sometimes you would know that they're that happy because they suddenly learn to sacrifice for the baby. Kung dating umiinom or naninigarilyo, pag nalaman nila na buntis sila, they would miraculously stop. Or sometimes you would see that they start thinking less of what to buy for themselves and more of what to buy for the baby. Yung iba, they turn away from life as a bachelorette and start quote-unquote adulting ways. Some would also begin thinking of and then planning for their future. They start getting all sorts already of insurances like for education, for life, etc. Okay, so in other words, the joy that pregnancy and birth gives to the woman is validated by her decision to adopt selflessness, alang-ala sa kanyang anak. And this, in my opinion, is the best evidence of how a child brings joy to the life of a mother.
Hi, I'm Aliyah Bosevilla. I have a single parent. I'm also from UST. So, syempre, UST, yung tuition niya mataas. And alam ko hirap mom ko. I grew up with a single parent with my mom. Pero, in my 18 years na hindi ko kasama yung dad ko, hindi ko feel na may kulang. Kasi yung mom ko, siya na rin yung tumayong tatay ko. Tapos hindi ko naramdaman na, wala akong tatay. Kawawa naman ako na yung ibang pamilya, buo sila. Tapos ako, meron lang ako, yung mom ko, ako, tsaka kuya ko. Pero hindi ko naramdaman yun. Yung mom ko, tinuruan niya ako na maging grateful sa kung ano meron ako, na wag ako tumingin sa mga kulang, sa mga wala ako, wag ako maingit sa iba. Tsaka, hindi niya rin ako pinalaking may galit sa tatay ko. And that's a good thing kasi ang dami ko rin pong kilalan na who grew up with a single parent, and I try my best to teach them na be grateful na lang kasi may mom ka na sobrang ginagawa yung best na para walang yung walang dad. And ako, I'm deeply grateful and sobrang kontento na ako sa meron ako ngayon. Kung bumalik man yung dad ko, it's okay. If not, it's okay lang din. Kasi yung mom ko, kita ko yung paghihirap niya, kita ko yung ginagawa niya para sa amin. Since dalawa kami, yung kuya ko tsaka ako, dalawa kami pinalaki niya ng siya lang mag-isa. Kita ko kung gano'n siya katapang, kita ko kung yung mga paghihirap niya, tinatago niya sa amin na para hindi namin makita na nahihirapan siya. Kasi pag alam niya, pag nakita namin na nahihirapan siya, nahihirapan. So I'm forever grateful na may mom ako.
It is important to know the value of human life, lalo na ang sama ng pananaw ngayon sa human rights dahil sa political agenda ng ilang mga politiko sa ating bansa. Life has become cheap at maraming pinapatay ng walang kalaban-laban. All human life has sanctity. No one has the right to take away life, not even the state as a punishment for criminal offense, because as Christians, we live and uphold the sanctity of human life. We should consider giving proper rehabilitation to law offenders because even with the best intention as a law, abortion and death penalty directly contradicts to the basic right of human dignity and human life. Sabi nga ni Mother Teresa of Calcutta, a society begins to crumble if you do not respect the value of human life. And more importantly, kapag daw nagsimula nang i-disrespect ang human life in conception, you're actually destroying the basic and the most functional human life, and that's the life in the womb of a mother.
With all the freedom and liberties that we have, let's not forget the value of life. Lalo na during this time, we have to take a firm stand. We have to fight for life, especially fight this battle for the defenseless and the voiceless. As women, we were given the gift to bring life to the world, and that must be something na precious to us women, and that is something that we must continue to keep sacred. Not all women are able to conceive and to bear children, and for those who can, let us take pride in the fact that God has allowed you to bring life to this world. Nurture and care for the life that is gifted from the moment of conception. Each life, no matter what stage it is in, is important and must be treasured. We are all gifts of God, and we must treat all life as is, as a gift. And the ProLife Movement is often portrayed as being led by the patriarchy, men who are fundamentally backwards and misogynistic. But it is actually women who bear the trauma of abortion all their lives. Pregnancy triggers a woman's maternal instinct, and the loss of the child, even when it was the woman who made the choice, is very painful. The thought of her own dead child will always haunt her life. So don't choose death. Let's all choose life.
E ngayon naman, kilalanin natin ang isang kahanga-hangang tao na nagpakita ng kanyang pagpapahalaga sa buhay ng kanyang kapwa-tao sa isang sitwasyon sa kasaysayan kung saan ang mga tao ay walang kaawa-awang pinatay dahil sa maling paniniwala. Sana matularan natin ang kanyang pagpapahalaga sa buhay. Hindi man tayo mamatay para sa iba, sana huwag tayo maging dahilan ng kamatayan ng iba.
The most deadliest poison of our time is indifference. Si Saint Maximilian Kolbe ay isang conventual Franciscan priest na kilala bilang patron ng mga amateur journalists, prisoners, drug addicts, families, and the ProLife Movement. Ipinanganak siya sa Poland noong January 8, 1894 sa mag-asawang Franciscan tertiary na sina Julius Kolbe, isang ethnic German, at Maria Dabrowska, isang native Polish, at bininyagan sa pangalang Raymond Kolbe. Pinalitan niya ang kanyang pangalan when he made his first vows as a religious brother. Nabuhay siya noong panahon ng Holocaust kung saan pinagpapatay ng Nazi Germany ang mga Hudyo o mga Jews sa paniniwalang hindi mahalaga ang buhay ng mga Hudyo dahil mas superior sa ideolohiya ang kanilang lahi na tinawag nilang Aryan race. Siyempre, hindi sang-ayon dito si Saint Maximilian Kolbe dahil taliwas sa katuroang Kristiyano ang pagpatay ng tao. Pagpapahalaga sa buhay ang katuroan ni Kristo. Kung kaya, gamit ang pahayagan ng maliit na publication house ng kanilang monasteryo, ay tinuligsa ni Saint Maximilian ang mga marahas at hindi makataong gawain ng mga Nazi. Hindi nagtagal ay nahuli rin siya ng gobyerno. Pero dahil German ang lahi ni Saint Maximilian, pinapili na lamang siya na pumirma ng kanyang pagsang-ayon upang siya ay pakawalan. Ngunit hindi pumirma si Saint Maximilian, kung kaya ikinulong nila siya sa Auschwitz noong 1941. Hirap, pasakit at kamatayan ang dinadanas noon ng mga preso sa Nazi concentration camps, kung kaya marami ang nagtangkang tumakas. Noong may isang nakatakas na preso, pumili ang mga Nazi ng 10 preso na gugutumin hanggang mamatay bilang parusa sa lahat ng mga preso na hinayaang makatakas ang kapwa preso nila. Isa sa napiling 10 ay si Franciszek Gajowniczek, isang Polish soldier na napaiyak nung siya ay napiling papatayin. My wife, my children, ang kanyang pagtangis. Narinig ito ni Saint Maximilian at naawa siya sa pamilya ng sundalo, kung kaya voluntaryong nakipagpalit si Saint Maximilian sa lalaki. I am a Catholic priest from Poland. I would like to take his place because he has a wife and children, ang sabi ni Saint Maximilian. Saint Maximilian Kolbe was canonized on October 10, 1982 by Pope John Paul II, who declared Saint Maximilian as a martyr of charity. Dahil noong mga panahon ng pagpatay dahil sa maling paniniwala, ay ibinigay niya ang kanyang buhay para mabuhay ang iba. Isang ehemplo ng tunay na pagmamahal sa Diyos at pagpapahalaga sa buhay ng kapwa-tao. Naway tularan natin si Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Hindi man natin ialay ang ating buhay kapalit ng buhay ng iba. Huwag naman sana tayong maging sanhi ng kamatayan ng iba, either through our actions or inactions. Let's value life.
According to Psalm 139, verse 13 to 14, "You formed my inmost being. You knit me in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am wonderfully made." Sa sinapupunan pa lang ng ating ina, kilala na tayo ng Diyos at nilikha niya tayong mabuti at kanyang kawangis. Kung hindi man sadya ang pagkakabuo sa atin ng ating mga magulang, hindi rin iyon aksidente. Dahil sadya tayong ginawa ng Diyos. There is a reason why we are conceived, and there is a purpose why we are born. Ang sanggol sa tiyan ng kanyang ina ay isang taong may buhay at may dahilan para sa kanyang buhay. Mahirap magkaanak nang hindi pa tayo handa. Masamang mapabayaan ang bata, pero mas masama ang patayin ang bata dahil sa kakulangan ng pantustos, dahil ang kalidad ng buhay ay pumapangalawa lang sa pagkakaroon ng buhay. How can you have a chance of having an improved quality of life if you were not given a chance to live? Napaka-ordinaryo na lang ngayon ang pagpatay Agaw-agaw may balita ng pinatay, may mga pagbabanta ng pagpatay. Maraming tao ang nabubulag sa maling pananaw at pinupuri o hinihiling ang kamatayan ng ating kapwa. Tandaan sana nating mga tagasunod ni Kristo ang mga katagang ito na galing sa Biblia. Bawat isa sa atin ay nilikha ng Diyos. Hinugis niya sa sinapupunan ng ating ina. Kahanga-hanga ang paglikha ng Diyos sa ating mga tao. Kaya, pahalagahan natin ang buhay ng isa't isa. Ang kamatayan ay hindi kayang itama ang isang maling desisyon. Ang kamatayan ay hindi solusyon sa mga problema. Hindi may itatama ang isang kamalian ng isa pang kamalian. Piliin natin ang mabuti. Piliin natin ang buhay.
Ang ganda ng mga ibinahagi sa atin ngayong gabi. Napakadami ko talagang natutunan. And dun sa mga narinig ko, may naalala lang ako doon sa kwento ni Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Kasi there was this midwife who was imprisoned in the same concentration camp in Auschwitz. Nagpaanak siya ng 3,000 babies doon sa concentration camp kahit walang maayos na medical facilities or medical supplies. All the children she delivered were born alive, even when the Nazi authorities believed that because of the camp's terrible conditions, the women would miscarry or the children and or the mothers will die during birth. She was both a good midwife and a devout Catholic. She prayed for every child whose birth she assisted. And you know what? She is an official candidate for canonization by the Catholic Church.
Wow.
Her name is Stanislava Leszczynska.
Wow, parang milagro nga ang nagawa niyang magpaanak ng ganun kadami sa ganung sitwasyon. At lahat ay safe delivery. Truly God works despite whatever is going on and around us. And ang dami ko talagang natutunan ngayong gabi. Panigurado, kayo din. Kaya wag nating kalimutan na i-send ito at i-share ang video na to sa lahat ng mga kaibigan at kamag-anak dahil mahalaga ang buhay. Don't forget to like and follow also the ACY Manila Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I-ring nyo na rin po yung notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa mga videos and advocacies na nais nating maiparating para sa mga kabataan.
And that's it for tonight. We are inviting and encouraging you to tune in again tomorrow for another night of sharing here at YTV. Don't forget to set your alarm every 7:30 p.m. dahil pag 7:30 na, YTV na.
See you again next Monday and keep in mind that the fundamental human right is the right to the life itself from the moment of conception to its natural end, and life should be protected.
And this is why it matters.
Here at Monday Matters.
Let us show how much we value other people's lives this Advent season by once again extending our help to the victims of the recent calamities in our country. Help us bring joy to their lives by supporting the relief operations of the Young Franciscan Advocates, the youth arm of the Franciscan Solidarity Movement for Justice, Peace, and Integrity of Creation. You may send your cash donations to the FSM JPIC BPI account number 003183631208 or through GCash at 0927-811-9095. For your donations in kind, you may drop them off at St. Anthony Shrine, 254 Manrique Street, Sampaloc, Manila, or at the Basilica Minoria de San Pedro Bautista in Quezon City. For more inquiries, you may contact Father Angel Cortez, OFM, at 0917-775-9343 or Brian Christopher Tolentino at 0910-005-7674. Let us all be a blessing to each other. Thank you. YTV Youth TV, your TV.